All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Arena Football Statement. I know that I don't get on here often. And when I do, when I'm as busy as I am, it's because something big has happened. Something has happened so big that I absolutely had to talk to this guy about it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the owner of the Omaha Beef, Ricky Bertz. Ricky, thanks for joining me.
Hey, Duke, I appreciate you having me here, buddy. Always a pleasure to talk with you, both on camera and off camera. But excited to be there today with, obviously, today's big announcement for the Omaha Beef as well as other CF partners as well, definitely.
You know, it's just another boring day in the world of arena/indoor football, right?
Just another boring day is probably one of the most inaccurate statements. But hey, I think it's just things like this just make it exciting. I think people love the sport for so many different reasons. And hey, this is just another chapter and what's taking place within the industry, definitely.
The big news dropped this morning. The Omaha Beef, the Sioux City Bandits, and Topeka Tropics have left Champions Indoor Football. My first question for you, Ricky, is the timing of this. You just finished a 14-0 season, the best in Omaha Beef's history. There was 2 of your games that were a 1-score victory. The rest, practically blowouts. You're at the top of the world. Why now? Why does Omaha leave now?
Well, Ducon, it's not just about Omaha. For full transparency, I notified all of the CAF partners back in May that I was exploring other options. And for full transparency, on top of that, I won't, you mentioned Sioux City, Topeka. There is an expansion team in Colorado as well, with information coming soon that is a sign, a letter of intent of what we're doing, as well as an expansion team in Texas as well. So there's actually 5 teams that we're going to be playing in the CIF that, for our reasons, which I can't get into a whole lot of details, have kind of made the decision what's best for us. But on top of that, though, Ducon, there were additional teams besides just those 5 that had submitted their withdrawal in writing to the league that were going to explore other options. So it wasn't just us. There's 4 other playing partners, 2 that we have not announced yet, but those announcements will be coming in a couple of weeks, But there were other ones as well. So it wasn't just us, for full transparency, Ducon.
Wow. So there could be some more big news here shortly then.
Well, in regards to those additional teams that I alluded to, that again, out of respect and courtesy of them, I won't say what those names are.
Sure.
I believe elected to go on ahead and stay with what they're doing and everything else. And I'll wish them nothing but the best of luck. But this desire to kind of look at other opportunities to grow and everything else. Absolutely. We weren't the only ones, but all teams. Back to your question, Ducon, and I'm bouncing around a little bit. I'm trying to be careful what I say for obvious reasons here.
Yeah.
But back to your question, though, all teams sign what's called a league affiliation agreement. And I would say the CIF and the IFL had a battle of that a couple years ago, and revolving a couple teams, the Sioux Falls Storm, the Wichita Falls Nighthawks, the Bloomington Edge, West Michigan Ironman as well, as far as the validity of those league affiliation agreements. If teams are going to withdraw and explore other options, or if they're going to look at joining a different league or doing something different, you have a very small timeline window to do that. And so when you asked about that, why now, Ducon, you have that very small window to exercise that option. If you don't exercise that option, it automatically rolls on over. And to the aforementioned I just talked about, you can't get out of that agreement, unless you find a way to buy your way out of that agreement or some other form or fashion of doing that. So that is the reason of why making the announcement now. But Ducon, this has been something that I've been sharing with the other CIF members at the time since probably the beginning of May. Might have even been a little bit earlier than that. I don't know, but for several months. And again, I was wanting to be a good partner, be upfront, be transparent about the things that I'm looking for in Omaha. And not only the stuff that I was looking for in Omaha, there are some other phenomenal partners as well that were looking for the same exact thing. So we're definitely excited about these changes that we're making. Some people are talking about they're done, they're not going to play or whatever. Ducon, that is the furthest thing from the truth. I've even seen things out there of like, hey, I want to get back into running the league and everything else. Again, furthest thing from the truth and everything else. We have a plan of what it is that we're doing, and this wasn't something we just woke up one day and decided to do. This has been in the works for an extended period of time. And again, there'll be more information coming very soon on all.
So my understanding is that you were one of the founding members of Champions Indoor Football. So in a lot of ways, it's kind of been your baby for the last 8 years. So is this Is this hard for you to leave because you were so involved in getting it started?
I think there was definitely times over the years, Ducon, where there was this pendulum that would go up and down and everything else. There was this. There were times it was especially tough because of working with Stephanie Tucker and Darlene Jones, who was no longer with us. The three of us created that league whenever everybody else told us that we were crazy, it couldn't be done and everything else. So my decision to leave was one that probably had some added emotional investment in there, but Ducon, I know that not only for the Omaha Beef, but the other partners as well, the additional teams that are going to be coming and announcing of what we're doing. I know this is the right decision for us and really kind of what we're trying to accomplish and do within the industry. So, yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. But again, it's one that I have no doubt at all. We've made the right decision. And I guess time will tell. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You just talked about what happened here with us. We had an incredible season in the CIF and everything else, won our second championship. But Ducon, before the season started, I remember being questioned an awful lot about, I don't know what I'm doing, what's going on, what's happening and everything else. And I'd like to say that, hey, with the help of Coach Kaiser, Coach Tatum, the rest of the coaching staff, Coach Pimmel, all the players, I think we kind of proved we got an idea of what we're doing. And Ducon, there is no doubt in my mind that this next step of what we're going to be announcing and doing as well is going to fall in line with everything else that we've been doing over the last several years here in Omaha and the other partners as well that I mentioned.
Well, certainly. And that's one thing I did want to mention is that the Omaha Beef and the Sioux City Bandits are two of your longest tenured franchises in the entire game. And the fact that they've stuck around this long is definitely a testament that they know what they're doing. And so a lot of the people that are questioning this really don't know how long you guys have actually been at this. You've probably done your proper vetting. You probably thought this through. But for the many, many fans that want to know what's next for the Omaha Beef, Sioux City Bandits, Topeka Tropics, you know that they're asking, where are they going to go? Are they going to start a new league? And I know that you probably can't answer that right now, but my question is, when will fans know where you'll be going?
I would say Ducon probably within the next 2 weeks, if it's even going to be that long, to be completely transparent with you. There's certain windows for you to exit, and there are certain windows that exist for you entering as well, based upon those dynamics. And that's all tied up in league bylaws and procedures and processes and everything else of how that's going to go. But again, full transparency with our playing partners, the five mentioned teams, whatever. I think Ducon, one of the things is, we've been doing this for a while. We've all enjoyed success on many different levels. But I think one of these announcements as well, Ducon, and it's already started happening today, there's additional teams or franchises that might be interested in making this move and this change and everything else. So there are some strategic advantages on top of this. Not only, hey, specific guidelines you have to follow for exiting a league, but there are strategic advantages for making these announcements as well, to where there's going to potentially be additional teams, even ones that be getting phone calls just today. And I know it's been the exact same thing for my partner, Don, up there in Sioux City, who's been in this for 20 plus years as well. Mm-hmm. With the announcements of what we're going to be doing and what's happening and what's taking place, with the, again, it's a spoiler alert. I mean, we're going to be announcing a franchise in Colorado. There's going to be a franchise in Texas. There's no doubt in my mind there's going to be additional teams that are going to come. And now, hey, what are you guys doing? You guys have been doing this for so long. We're kind of like maybe kicking tires or looking at here or looking at there or looking at there. By doing it this way, opportunity to attract even more quality partners to really kind of build this into what we're wanting to do overall for everybody involved.
Now, when you say that there's additional teams that are inquiring and looking at trailblazers like the Omaha Beef and Sioux City Bandits, are you talking about existing franchises or expansion franchises?
Ducon, I'm talking about both, actually. I'm talking about when you're in this business long enough and you learn some of the ins and outs, some of the do's and don'ts, I guess you could say, you kind of try to find your way to kind of people you're going to partner and line up with. And I think that some of these franchises, new and existing, that are not in this fold that I'm talking about, know what's going on and what's happening, other playing partners and stuff like that. This is just all part of I guess you could call it a chess game that's going on, one in which you have the strategy and the outline of what it is that you're doing, and you're just kind of making the move one piece at a time. And then when you look back on it, you're going to see how it all added up. And again, I think people are going to be incredibly excited about what's going on and taking place.
Speaking of that excitement, I know that a lot of people are speculating, just because of the timing of this deal, that this new Arena Football League has been in contact with you guys, and they're the ones that are kind of pulling you in. Can you talk about if you've been in contact with the Arena Football League at all, and if that's where you guys are looking? Or because I know I've been pretty vocal that I don't really buy the Arena Football League announcements, but there are some parallels. For example, they've announced a Colorado franchise, and now this comes up that you guys have got a Colorado franchise coming in. So people are looking at that connection saying, oh, they're going AFL.
Well, just so you know, this is not the Arena Football League, just so you know. All of us, no matter what league we play in, no matter what league our teams are associated with, we are all in the same industry. And there's right ways to do things, there's wrong ways to do things. I'm not really overly enthused about the way this has worked with the AFL. I want to be wrong, UConn, but I was very skeptical to begin with. You've been around a long time like I have been. This feels like the NGL all over again, but it's got a name that people recognize. To be completely transparent with you as far as announcing franchises and stuff, I will say this. Our Colorado franchise, and I will try to say this carefully without getting into a whole lot of details, but all of the suitable arenas in the state of Colorado are managed by a company called Oakview Management. They are a global, nationwide company that actually manages facilities and arenas. So every possible facility in the state of Colorado is all managed by Oakview. And so our playing partner in Colorado that is yet to be announced, his lease is signed with an Oakview management company. So naturally, when the Arena Football League statement came out and they said that they're inquiring, or I apologize, when they came out and said they're placing a team in Colorado, of course, the arena management company for our said to be named franchise in Colorado is like, hey, what's going on? Is this going to be close proximity? Is this going to be competing, whatever it might be? So that arena manager emailed everybody within the state of Colorado in the same management company, which again, as I said, manages all of the arenas that are suitable for indoor/arena football. And the only inquiry for the entire year was one other inquiry. And that was an inquiry that I myself personally made with our soon-to-be named partner when we were looking at different options in the state of Colorado. The only inquiries for indoor arena football in the entire state of Colorado came from myself and our playing partner that we're going to announce. So you can add Colorado onto the list of all of the other franchises that they've announced. I don't know what the AFL is doing. I want to wish those guys the best of luck or whatever like that. When you hear comments like that, DuCon, plus the other stuff as well, it's a lot of doubt in there, what's going on, what's taking place, to be completely transparent. So I will tell you that it is not the Arena Football League. And also as well, I've said this is a new venture. I didn't necessarily say this was a new league or anything like that as well. There's a lot of different ways that can break out, but I want to make sure I stress that as well. This is something new with all the 5 teams that we have involved, going to be more with other existing franchises, expansion teams, and everything else. But it is not the Arena Football League. And like I said, we will be announcing a team in Colorado. We are the only ones that have made inquiries in the entire state of Colorado for an arena or indoor football franchise in 2024. They've never even got an inquiry from anybody outside of us. So there's more franchises than even that that they've announced, but I won't get into those. So we'll just stick with Colorado and people can connect dots from there. So.
That's great. Well, let's go on to the Texas franchise here, because Texas is a really, really big place. And for Texas football fans, when can they know where this Texas franchise is playing?
Well, it is. It's the end of July here. You do come. Those announcements will be made next month, just so you know.
Okay.
I mean, made next month. So in the very, very, very near future, stuff has already been done. Turf's already been acquired. I mean, these things have been in the works for a while. You don't just wake up one day and decide, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And so the partners that we have a ton of experience in what it is that we're doing. And that's why we have such confidence in what it is that we're doing going forward. Not that there's going to be a situation or dynamic that we've not seen or not have ran into, but collectively as a group, there's a ton of experience in all of the franchises, not just the 5 that I mentioned.
I know the news has just broke out this morning, but among your own fan base, the Omaha Beef fan base, what has been the general response to this news so far? Do they seem worried about the franchise, or are they excited about this new venture that you speak of?
I think naturally, of course, when you don't have all of the answers, DuCon, I think there's a little bit of nervousness there. But DuCon, they're excited. I mean, they're excited. Since me coming here in 2018, I have a phenomenal team that works with me, from the front office staff to the coaching staff to the players to we have so many incredible people that work with us. And the growth from 2018 to now was just, we're continuing to kind of go on that climb. And I think that my fans, our business supporters as well, kind of just really view this as like, hey, what's the next step of the ladder of what we're going to be doing, what's going to be taking place. I know they're going to be excited when we make the announcement. They're going to be even more excited to the moon and stuff like that. And I think on top of that, they're excited that, hey, Sioux City is kind of along for the ride as well. Again, Don Belson, great playing partner. We get into arguments over how many years Sioux City's been in existence or not, or whatever. Is it 24 years for them and 25 for us or whatever? Both of our fan bases have enjoyed competing against each other on a franchise level. That was taken away for a brief period of time when they went their separate ways. But no, we're going together, and we're definitely excited for it. I know our fan bases, their fan bases, as well as all the other partner communities that we talked about as well.
I got to say that's got to be a very great comfort to both fan bases, because if you were going to go somewhere, you're going together. That means the battle on I-29 is still there, and that's a great thing for the fans. So what a comfort for them. As far as going forward goes, I know that you've had a lot of experience being a commissioner of a league. Are you thinking that maybe you do take that role again in the future, or are you thinking, hey, I've enjoyed just being an owner of a team and growing just the team?
Real quick, I'll answer that question. I want to circle back real quick. You talked about both fan bases and everything else for those franchises. I have a ton of respect for Coach Strobing, Coach Lobin, as well as other people there as well. So these conversations about what it is that we're doing, Coach Strobing, I think, has been involved in the organization since day number one. If not, he's pretty darn close.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt was even involved in the conversation piece about what's in the best interest for the Bandits, and they incorporate other people as well. So I just want to make sure that I hammer home that point, that there's a lot of people that I think a lot of fans, both home and away, respect them, their opinion and everything else and stuff like that. They are all 100% on board on that. Now, Ducon, I will circle back to your question about running the league. And if I can say this, great. If not, just have to put a bleep on there. But there is a snowball's chance in hell that I am running the league. That is not happening. That is not taking place. It is my personal opinion. People might disagree or whatever. There's a lot of times I've had to run the league out of necessity to help facilitate, because even though I have a team, I have to have a league in order to operate and play in. So for one reason or another, people have had to step on into roles and stuff like that, even if they might not want to, but it's for the betterment of the league. And again, hey, that's going to come with a lot of scrutiny whenever you're running the league. You have a team vested in it as well. It's like Jerry Jones being Roger Goodell at the exact same time or whatever. I get the optics of it don't look good, but what I always remind people is those decisions of who to run the league are made by the team owners. You know what I mean? So
gotcha. Yeah.
Even right on the outside, the team owners, the other board members are who decide all that to happen. But Ducon, I will not be running the league. That's already in place and taken care of and everything else of what we're doing. And I'm so excited beyond that, because I've enjoyed just focusing on my franchise and my franchise alone. You and I had a conversation at Champions Bowl 7 in Salina about this very same thing. And you look at the growth that my franchise has taken since that has been off of my plate. And Ducon, we're continuing to build and grow from that. Again, we have phenomenal people here within the organization. It's not just about me, but whenever I can get stuff off of that and focus on the Omaha Beef, and don't get me wrong, I'll still do some league stuff. I think that we benefit greatly from that. And I know that the staff sees that as well.
And on that note there with your front office, and I'm going to go on to your coaching staff now. With these changes, are you having the same coaching staff returning for 24?
Actually, I've been in communication with Coach Kaiser about this for probably about a month and a half. I mean, back up even longer than that. This was before this even over. Like, hey, we're looking at making some changes and everything else. There might be some dynamics that come out of this that, as far as like, hey, what league you're lined up with, might affect dynamics as far as structure, salary, and everything else. There might be, might be something in a change of rules and all this kind of stuff. All these things happen, Ducon. So Coach Kaiser, even Coach Tatum, who I talked with both of them in the last couple of days, where they heard directly from me before this announcement is being made. But all these pieces going on has been nothing new to them. And now that we are in the middle of kind of finally getting all the dots and everything lined on up, we're going to be in that process of getting all that stuff lined out. Very,
very cool. Well, hey, is there anything else that you want to tell fans, doubters, opponents, competitors before we sign off?
Ducon, there's a lot of stuff that I could say. No matter what I say, it's going to be good for some, bad for the others. I mean, even like on this post, there's probably going to be several different comments of this or that or whatever, smoke and mirrors, whatever it might be. I'll just say at the end of the day, I think the proof is in the pudding. The results speak for themselves. I know that our organization has seen the benefits of what it is that we're doing ever since I came here in 2018. Jeff is on board with everything that we're doing. Nick is on board with what we're doing. The coaching staff is on board. I mean, everybody is. We're doing what's best for the organization, what we think is best for the industry as well, and we're just excited for this news to come. So I'll just kind of leave it at that and kind of see where the pieces fall from there. But I already know how they're going to fall in place here very, very soon. I have no doubt we'll be talking again.
Wow. Well, hey, that's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, the news has dropped. The Omaha Beef, Sioux City Bandits, Topeka Tropics, a Colorado franchise, a Texas franchise, and potentially others leaving the CIF. And they're up to something that's really shaking up the industry. Stay tuned. And Ricky, thank you so much for coming on talking about this with me. Really excited. I know I'm going to be checking and clicking refresh often because I want to see where this goes.
Hey, Ducon, we appreciate it on behalf of both of us here at the Slaughterhouse. Go Beef, guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.